Hello. Now a lot of you will know I'm really fond of camping stoves. 8 years ago I did a video about a wood gas stove. It had a separate battery pack. You had to charge the batteries separately. I've since taken that video down because that company no longer produces wood gas stoves, because 5 years ago I did a video about a Biolite stove where the battery pack was integrated into the cooker and the gasifying of the wood would power the battery to power the fan, and also you could power devices from a USB with that wood gas stove, with the Biolite stove. And about 6 years ago I had an alcohol stove from Dometic, which is an Origo, a Dometic Origo, and it's quite a large stove because you can also use that as a heater as long as you have enough ventilation in your boat or caravan. But both these kind of stoves, both the wood gas stove, the Biolite stove and the Dometic Origo, have their drawbacks. Obviously a wood gas stove you cannot use inside at all because of the smoke and the carbon monoxide, and then the alcohol stove, well obviously you can't use free fuel, and this one took up so much space. So last year when I was tent camping and hiking in Lismore, you may remember from that video, I made an alcohol stove out of a drinks can because the Biolite was too heavy to take and the Origo was just too big, and unfortunately I had limited success with that drinks can stove that I made, holding the kettle for ages and ages and ages to get it to boil. So what I would really like is one stove fits all. One stove where I can power it with pine cones or wood if I've got a dried wood supply for free outside the caravan, or I can power it from alcohol, so if I don't have access to a wood source I can still use it, and I could be able to say use it inside the caravan in case of cooker failure, or if I'm traveling and I want to just make a cup of tea out the back of the car. I want one stove that fits all, and I have found that one perfect stove that fits all. That is this. It's the Solo Stove Lite and the Pot 900. So in this little package is a wood gas stove, which also doubles as an alcohol burning stove, and a 900 milliliter kettle, all in there. So let's have a look. Right, so here we go. It all comes neatly together in this little bag. So you can see the whole thing fits neatly into this 900 milliliter kettle. In there, a bit like Russian dolls, we have the cooker. Oh, you excited? Oh, Dougal's interested. Yes? You want to get your nose in? Do you want to have a look? Inside we have the cooker itself, and then in here we have the alcohol burner with a screw cap lid that's got a rubber seal if you've got alcohol in there, or you've got here a flame regulator, and then of course extinguisher. This part of the stove, this is where you either put the tinder, the wood, or you put the alcohol burner, a little pot stand, and then of course your pot for making your dinner. So what I'm going to do is first of all I'm going to try it with the alcohol burner because I can use that in the caravan. Rather than just boil out some water, I'm actually going to try and cook a meal on it inside the caravan, and then when we've done that and had my dinner, I'm then going to take it outside and try and power it with wood and make a cup of tea. Here we go. Okay, so we've got about 500 millilitres of water, and we'll see how long that takes to boil. I don't think it's going to be very fast at all, but it's convenient. Okay, so it's taken just about 7 minutes to boil. Not quite boiling, see, nearly boiling now. And that's 500 millilitres of water, so enough for 2 cups of tea. So I don't think that's too bad at all. But this is not a tea test. Bit of salt. Add some pasta. Right, we can see the problem here is the heat is too high. Right, so we can see it's too high. We're going to try and bring the flame down with the flame regulator. Rest it on the top there and see if that will calm it down a little bit. Obviously that's going to save our fuel as well. So yeah, you can see the flame is much smaller now. So we're much more in control of the cooking. Grated cheese. And there you have it, my first meal cooked with the Solo stove, and that took about 15 minutes. Not bad at all. Okay, so we've tried the alcohol burner. Now let's try the actual wood gas stove itself. And the way it works is you build the fire on this little wire mesh here. The oxygen feeds into it and it gasifies the wood and burns off the gas at the top at a far higher heat than if you just burned the wood itself. It's so simple, there's no fan. It does it all by convection, which means no moving parts, and the great thing is they offer a lifetime guarantee on this little baby. So what I've done is I've put 300 millilitres of water in the kettle ready for a nice cup of tea. What I've done is I've taken wood that I've collected in the past and I've just dried myself, so I'm putting it in the chamber here. And if you're clever, you can use dry grass. Pine cones are great for getting the fire going. If you cheat like me, just use bioethanol firelighting gel. Right, so that is the wood in the chamber. I've added the firelighting gel. Now let's boil up some water. Yeah, I think that's taking. I can hear something burning. That's away, so I'll just add a little bit more wood. Right, so it is burning in there, but until it gets a real hold, you can see that we're getting a fair bit of smoke. Even this is dry wood. I think we have to wait until the fire really takes hold before it burns off the smoke at burning off the wood gas. There it goes. It looks like it's gasifying now. So there we go. Now it's gasifying. We'll get the kettle on and we'll time that. Go. Okay, so we've got the stopwatch going. We'll see how long it takes now to boil up 1 cup of tea, because that's really important, tea. And while it's cooking, we can actually add fuel through this handy little slot at the side. They've thought of everything. They're really good, really clever. Okay, so we're currently at 5 minutes. Not quite boiling yet. I think I might have been a little bit stingy with the amount of fuel I used in the chamber. So not long to go now. Right, there we go, 7 minutes. and we're boiling nicely. And I think that's because I've been a little bit mean with the fuel, and also the alcohol burner is just going to burn a little bit hotter. Full disclosure, Solo Stoves did send me this stove for review. However, as many of you who watch my channel know, I will only give an honest review to preserve the integrity of this channel, and my honest opinion is that is a terrific piece of kit. What's great about it is that it's light in weight, it's simple, it's small, it really does the job, and it's versatile because you can use it as a wood gas stove and as an alcohol stove. You can get a bigger model, so they do make bigger models if you think this one's too small for you, and they would obviously have a larger kettle if you bought the kettle separately to cook larger meals in. This is just for one person or maybe two at a push. And of course this thing has a lifetime guarantee. Now I am passionate about buying decent and buying once, and that's actually why I'm wearing exactly the same clothes that I was wearing to making the Biolite stove review 5 years ago, because it's all just decent stuff and it lasts. And this, with a lifetime guarantee, is fantastic. What's the downside? Well, the downside is obviously it's a bit more expensive than other stoves, but that's because of course you get the lifetime guarantee. I will put a link in the description below so you can check out the current price of this stove when you're watching this video. Also where you can buy this stove, that will be an affiliate link to Solo Stoves. But before you click that, I would encourage you to click on the link to the Camping and Caravanning Club, which I'm going to put below this video. That is a link to their safety sheet about the use of camping stoves and the dangers of carbon monoxide in small spaces. So please check that link before anything else, and then go to Solo Stoves using the link below and check out these terrific stoves. I'm also going to put a link to a video I've made before about making the fuel that you can use in these wood gas stoves. So I make the fuel out of branches and a very simple tool called a froe that you use with a mallet. So I'll link that video as well. So if you want to make your own wood fuel for your wood gas stove, check out that video. And then finally I'll put a link to where you can buy the bioethanol camping fuel. That's in the UK. I'm not sure they ship outside the UK, but do check that out as well in the links below. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the Solo stove. I am really looking forward to using it, especially on my next trip down to Croatia with the camper van, and also car camping on the way down. So that is going to be terrific. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already. It just leaves me to say thanks for tuning in. Oh!